Welcome in, everyone. I hope you guys are doing great wherever you're watching from today. We have some big news to discuss, and that is Trump breaking his silence a bit, giving another update on negotiations with Iran, as some people want the United States to push for war. Other people want to see a diplomatic solution. Trump announced a huge update for everyone. We're going to get into all of that and much more. Before we do, please comment below with how you want to see the Trump administration handle the Iranian negotiations, the Iranian problem. Do you want to see peace or do you want to see war? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you always know when there's a new video coming. Now, let's get into it. As viewers of the channel know, the United States of America and Iran have had lengthy negotiations over Iran's nuclear program, over the country's pursuit of what some believe is the attempt to get a nuke, to weaponize enriched uranium, to get a WMD, all that stuff. The Iranians maintain that it's a civilian program. They continue to enrich to high levels, but have never, ever enriched to weapons-grade uranium yet. Of course, that doesn't mean they can't do it. Iran has a long history of getting right up to the line and then stopping and using it as a negotiating tactic. So that's where things have been. President Trump has been crystal clear that he wants to see a diplomatic solution to the crisis, to the situation, to the negotiations. The Israelis, on the other hand, have been pushing the United States, both publicly and privately, according to multiple reports, to push for a military option to take out Iran's program. Now, as we know, the Israelis lack the ability to do that themselves. They don't have the bombs. They don't have the planes. So any attempt to take out Iran's underground facilities would have to be done by the United States. And of course, the United States has to be the ones that control that situation, as it will be our military that's required to carry it out. So President Trump has been attempting and doing his best to negotiate with the Iranians to reach a deal. This is from CNN. I'll throw this up here on the screen right now. And it says, this is the latest update from negotiations. Then we're going to get into what Trump says. It says Iran and the United States concluded a fifth round of high-stakes nuclear talks in Rome on Friday amid growing skepticism in Tehran about the chances of a deal as Washington hardens its position. A senior Trump official said Friday more talks are needed and both sides agreed to meet in the near future. The talks continue to be constructive and we made further progress, the official said, but there is still work to be done. The U.S. side said the discussions, which was attended by Middle East Envoy Steve Witkoff, lasted more than 2 hours. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Friday's nuclear talks with the U.S. are too complicated to be resolved in 2 or 3 meetings. He said, however, that Iran and U.S. delegations have completed one of the most professional rounds of negotiations in a televised interview on state-run IRB News. 2 Iranian sources have told CNN the talks seem unlikely to lead to an agreement, with the U.S. insisting that Tehran dismantles its uranium enrichment program, a demand Iranian officials say would cause the nuclear negotiations to collapse. The sources said Iran's participation in the Rome talks was solely to gauge Washington's latest stance rather than pursue a potential breakthrough. Araghchi reiterated Tehran's red lines before he departed for Rome on Friday. So that's where everything is. That's where the Iranians are at. We've had the latest meeting. Seems like some progress is being made, but yet not really through a breakthrough. But now President Trump also addressed the situation, giving one of the most positive updates we've had about potentially avoiding war. Let's go ahead and watch Trump's comments right now.
We had some very good talks with Iran yesterday and today, and let's see what happens. But I think we could have some good news on the Iran front. Likewise with Hamas on Gaza. We want to see if we can stop that. And Israel, we've been talking to them, and we want to see if we can stop that whole situation as quickly as possible. But having to do with nuclear, we've had some very good talks with Iran, and I don't know if I'll be telling you anything good or bad over the next 2 days, but I have a feeling I might be telling you something good. We've had some real progress, serious progress.
So that right there was President Donald Trump talking about how we have multiple moving pieces in the Middle East, specifically with Iran, Israel, what's going on in Gaza. And President Trump appears confident that some deal is going to be reached. He appears confident that we will reach an agreement with the Iranians to avoid an all-out war in the Middle East, which of course is something President Trump wants absolutely nothing to do with. President Trump has made clear time and time again that he favors peace over war. He believes that the best way to deal with situations is through dialogue, talking, negotiations. He thinks war is bad for business, it's bad for the country, it's bad for everyone involved, and it's a complete and total waste. Now, I'm not saying we all have to agree with that outlook, but that's certainly the outlook that President Trump has on this situation. And if President Trump can reach a deal that avoids a large-scale conflict in the Middle East, that avoids all-out war, that avoids all-out chaos, thousands of people dying, then he should be viewed, that should be viewed as a huge win for the Trump administration. Here's something that we all need to remember, and I talk about it a lot. Once you get on the escalation ladder, once you're on the ladder going up in combat, and you might think, well, we can start with small strikes. You know, this is what people who want to bomb Iran, who want war with Iran say. They say, well, we can start with, it's just a limited strike. It's just us going in and bombing these facilities. It's a limited strike. It's not that big of a deal. Iran won't do anything. You don't know that. You have no idea what Iran might do once we bomb them. Is there a chance that they do nothing? Sure. There's a chance. There's a chance a lot of things could happen, but that doesn't mean it's likely. And if Iran retaliates against Saudi Arabia, our bases in the region, against Israel, now we're up the escalation ladder. Because then we have to respond again. Saudi Arabia has to respond. Jordan, the UAE, Qatar, whoever it might be, they have to respond. And once you start climbing that escalation ladder, there's no guaranteed way to get off of it. This is a fact of war. It's been a fact of war forever. It remains a fact of war now. It was a fact of war 100 years ago. It'll be a fact of war 100 years in the future. Is bombing Iran in the United States' best interest? Is attacking Iran and starting a Middle Eastern conflict in the best interest of the United States of America? If it is, someone should come out and make that case. Right now, the Trump administration's stance is that a war in the Middle East is not in the best interest of the United States, and I would tend to agree with that. We've been in the Middle East for over 2 decades. We've lost thousands of great Americans. Many, many, many more were wounded, lost limbs, just terrible, terrible stuff. And we can debate all day about the wars, whether they were worth it, all that stuff, the tactics that were employed. That's all fair game to discuss. But at the end of the day, what we need to discuss right now, today, is going to war with Iran in the best interest of the United States. I don't see that case. I don't see anyone making a successfully convincing case as of yet. And as I've said before, just because another country who's allied with us wants us to do something doesn't mean we have to do it. We're the United States of America. We have the biggest economy. We have the biggest military. At the end of the day, we're the ones running the show. It's just that simple. And with us running the show, we should be the ones that set the line, determine what happens, make it clear that we are in control, other people aren't in control, we are in control, and we're going to do what's best for us. Every country needs to look out for itself. And at the end of the day, you have to put yourself number one. That's what President Trump is doing. He's got to put the United States number one. It is just frankly that simple. So we cannot allow any other country, no matter who it is, the Saudis, the Israelis, the Qataris, the Emiratis, doesn't matter. The United States needs to do what's best for the United States. And if that means avoiding a war, then that's what President Trump should do, and that's what he is working on. But I want to know what you think. Comment below. Do you think the United States should avoid a war with Iran or go to war with Iran? How do you think we should handle the Middle East as a whole? How would you like to see Trump handle Israel? Comment below. I love reading all your comments. I'm trying to respond to as many as I can. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell so you know when a new video is coming. And as always, I'll see you all next time.